Live from the basement of the Pentagon, this is WTF Nation Radio.
Right, this is WTF Nation Radio. Welcome to What the Fuck Wednesday with your host, Jim Beam. Had a little technical difficulty there starting the show out, but hey, I think I got it worked out, so we'll hit you up with another song while we're, checking it all out, make sure it's good for you tonight. I don't know, trying to get my levels and everything here. Don't know what's going on, man. Damn Windows update, you know what I mean? We'll be right back. Y'all enjoy a little Ludacris. All right, that's right, man. Get back, motherfucker. That's right. Little Ludacris right there. It's my shit, man. Wow, it's a crazy week right now, man. Besides just, what's going on in your life, look what's going on around the coastal here, all these hurricanes, and then had one to hit, one coming in, and a couple of more forming up. So she's getting crazy out there. What do you think about it, Pookie?
Yeah, it's this time of year, man. You know, it happens every year. And I mean, most of these places are ready for it, but I mean, I know a couple people are bunkering down, saying they're not too concerned about it. And I told them get the hell out if you can. You know, better safe than sorry.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes people think they know best, and they might come out all right. You never know. There was a guy called Indian Larry. He used to work on and build motorcycles. I don't know if you know who he was. He's pretty famous in the motorcycle community. Was in a lot of movies, did a lot of stunts on his motorcycles. And one of the stunts he used to do was he'd stand up on his seat and, put it on cruise and stand up on his seat and hold his hands out to the side and just, ride straight for a pretty good way.
Ride the lightning?
Guy done it hundreds of times, I guarantee you. If he done it once, he done it over 100. And he was at a show some years back. He did it. Crowd was cheering. He come back for another pass, hit a rock, and it's all over. So like I said, if you feel safe, bunker down, barricade yourself in. You might be all right 100 times, but that one time is what you got to worry about.
Exactly.
Apologize to everybody the technical that I had earlier. Damn, Windows 10. I don't know about that, man. Just does updates and shit. Come in, it's updating stuff, and had all my microphones and everything all turned off, and had to go in and reinitiate this, reinitiate that. It's a little frustrating. But hey, that's the way it is, man.
Yup.
I'm trying to log in over here on the chat, and it won't let me log in, so I don't know. I guess my password is, I must have forgot it or typed in wrong. But, hey, by the way, just let everybody know if you're listening. Later tonight, we got a guest on. Our guest is going to be John Jackson. He's from Comfort Farms, and he's going to be on to talk about they have opened the farm up for RVs for people who are evacuating due to the hurricane. And so he'll be here to talk about that, talk about what he's doing for everybody that's trying to evacuate out of Florida. I believe he's from Jackson. But he'll be here to talk about what they're doing there on his farm and what they normally do and what they're doing now during this hurricane. So you'll stick around for this second hour, especially if, especially if you got people down in Florida or you're coming out of Florida and you're looking for a place to kind of go and camp out or whatever. It's a pretty good deal. What do you think, Pookie?
No, I mean, I wish more people would be doing that because I know a lot of people that are getting displaced right now, especially like I'm a Houstonian, like my old neighborhood got flooded about 2 weeks back, and I know a lot of people that just like looking for places to stay right now. It's not nice to hear people are actually opening it up and helping it out, man. We need stuff like this.
Absolutely.
Especially with the today's climate, with all the stupid crap going on. It's sad it takes hurricanes to get people to unite together and shit. But whatever, you know how it works.
Oh, it always takes something, a little something, to bring people together. But that's just the way it is, how it works in life. But speaking of which, Let me play some more music here. Here's a little something here, kind of along the lines of what's going on. I guess I'll break the cat out of the bag. I don't know. I'll just threw a bunch of songs together. It's got weather in them, raining and shit like that. So. Here it goes.
"3:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. City's looking like a ghost town on the moon a summer night. Raindrops on the windshield, there's a storm moving in. He's heading back from somewhere that he never should have been. And the thunder rolls, and the thunder rolls."
That's what you get acclimated to, really. But I mean, you don't sleep well when you're fucking hot and sweaty and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I can't do it. I'll get about 2 hours of sleep. If it's too hot in the house, I'll get about 2 hours of sleep a night. That's it.
Yeah, you gotta be comfortable, but it's just the way it is. Like I said, man, y'all stick around here in the second hour of the show here at 2100 hours Eastern Standard Time. It's 9 o'clock for everybody else. We'll have a guest on tonight. Again, John Jackson from Comfort Farms. And he'll be here to talk about what they do and the fact that they're opening up the farm for people that are evacuating the hurricane. Just providing them a place to go. Can't beat that. Not with a stick.
Nope. It's hard to find places to go when it's evacuation time.
Hell yeah. All right, here we go. We're gonna hit y'all up again. Here's some Doors, man. Riders in the Storm.
Oh yeah.
Pour you a shot and drink a beer with it.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
That's right. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is your host, Jim Beam, here for What the Fuck Wednesday show. Guys, stick around here in a little less than 30 minutes. We're going to have our host on, or should say our guest from Comfort Farms. They're going to be here to talk about opening their farm up to people with RVs. I think they said they can handle about a couple dozen, 20 or so. They said, unfortunately, they can't supply water, food, and electricity. So bring your generator, bring your canned goods. Come prepared. But it's a place to go, and they'll be here to more talk about what they're offering and what they can do for you, and all that good stuff. But it's a great thing, It's a place to go. At least you got somewhere to go.
Exactly.
Zachary, I knew that guy. What's up, Jay Reddy?
What up, my dude? What up, my dude?
What's up, man? Can we swap some tobacco spit in the shower?
I do that.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, man? All right, so give us the skinny on the grand poobah of the Virgin Islands.
Oh, about the governor?
Yeah, I guess he's a governor. Is he like the governor off of The Walking Dead? He's got an eye patch on. He likes to fucking kill people. No, I mean seriously. They're saying something about confiscated weapons down there. So.
No, man. So what's going on? I literally just listened to it on XM radio coming back from dinner, and he was on air, and he said, "I don't have the constitutional right to take anybody's weapons. What it is that the military can take munitions and take weapons from shops if need be. That's it.
This is gonna pay them then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's no different. Yeah, I got you. All right.
It's kind of like one of those two guys out in L.A. robbed the bank way back before there was SWAT and shit. Have you ever seen that video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot what
Oh
country
yeah, they were
from.
body
They were
armored to
brothers.
fuck up.
Oh yeah, they were fucking damn auto weapons and shit. I mean, the police are running down to the fucking damn gun stores, and they were taking AR-15s off the shelf. And they wasn't automatic, fully automatic. You know what I mean? Or semi-automatic.
Which is their right in that situation.
Right, but they were down there. Of course, I guess I'm sure they signed for them and everything. But my whole point being is, if those weapons hadn't been available at that time, they wouldn't have had nothing to go after to defend. And it messed them up because they wasn't prepared for that. They've never, the law enforcement and they weren't prepared for that military style. I want to be shooting and walking forward to you. I mean, it just mind fucked them. They never seen anything.
Oh
like
yeah,
that. Dude, them guys literally just fucking down.
That happened in like '94, didn't it?
They took out blocks and blocks and blocks, man.
but they learned a lot from that.
Yeah, the law enforcement side did.
Yes, they did.
And,
But the governor did not, in any form or fashion, say that he's going to take anybody's weapons, or they're illegal to have, or they're getting confiscated. He, by law, cannot do that, and that is a quote.
Right. So basically, said that if the military are running low on ammunition, or they need some I hate to use the word weapons, then they just go to the local gun shop and say, hey, we need a couple of them, one of those.
Doesn't it fall under like eminent domain or something like that?
Well, maybe, but I mean, you're still as when you have firearms stuff. You got a federal firearm license, and there's rules and regulations. You got to track that shit, because they're not supposed to have a registry so they can. It's not there for them to track what you buy, but it's supposed to be there so if, for instance, there was a break-in, the guy's got a book somewhere in a safe when he leaves at night or something, he can say, well, these are all the weapons I bought by serial number, and these are all the ones I sold. And he can validate, that they were sold. But yeah, I'm sure they had to do something. I get a thumbprint or something off their ass. But like, here, put your thumbprint here and sign.
Exactly.
You're not. Everything's good down in the Virgin Islands, other than it got fucking bollywopped.
I imagine.
I'm wondering what's happening in Puerto Rico right now, because Puerto Rico is probably getting smashed too, and no one's even talking about that. No?
Well, Puerto Rico, the eye wall, the strongest. So basically, the strongest winds within this particular storm, are within 50 miles of the eye wall. And it is just outside of that. The eye wall is probably about 60 miles away from shore. So they're not getting the strongest winds, but they are getting pretty fucking heavy winds.
Oh, and the storm surge is probably massive too.
26 feet. That's ridiculous.
That's insane. That's insane.
I got some distant relatives that were supposed to went on a cruise, and I'm kind of wondering where they were cruising to. I need to make a phone call to them and find out what's up with that. I'm sure that if they were on a cruise, that they would have surely to God postponed the trip, knowing that this thing was coming.
Well, I thought the cruise line Carnival canceled a whole bunch of cruises. They called them back because of the hurricane coming through.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So last I heard,
that's maritime law.
Yeah, last I heard they were heading out like last Saturday or something, Friday, and I'm like, man, I don't think so. I said, if they're heading on a cruise, they're heading. They better be heading toward Cancun or something.
Yeah, there's a hurricane down there too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So there's another one popping
We got
up.
3 hurricanes. We got 3 hurricanes right now, don't we?
Yeah, you got the one that just landed, and then there's Irma coming in, and then there's Jose coming right on her ass, and then I didn't catch the name of the other one that's coming up into the Gulf.
Me gusta.
Magusta,
Now let me look it up.
my gooch,
What? It was
my goocha,
I can't even
My,
remember the name of it now.
what the fuck?
Mustafa.
It's a
My,
weird fucking name.
I
let me
got you.
see.
The names used to be like, regular old names, but I guess like when a hurricane like smacks against the ground and does a lot of damage, they retire the name. They never use it again.
Yeah, and they name them in alphabetical order as the tropical storms start. They start with A, so it kind of lets you
A
know.
has switches between
Katia.
male and we
Katia.
got male and female.
This is there's Irma, Jose, and Katia. Kitia.
Katia is the one that's chilling in like down in Mexico right now,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that they just name the tropical storms, and if they turn into a hurricane, they do.
Yes, they do.
If they don't, they don't. They got a lot of they got a lot of winds and rains and stuff that comes off them hurricanes, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I wonder? I wonder when there's a lot of rain coming off here, if it ever happens where
Radio is in the house.
Alrighty, we're back. I don't know if you hadn't gathered or not, but all the songs I picked out tonight got something to do with weather and shit. That there went out to my girl Spanky because she said she loves it when it's raining men.
Skeet, skeet, trick or treat.
Skeet, skeet. Yukon Cornelius.
I forgot about that.
It tastes like gold.
Blue and gold. So this
I like it
fucking
till it
storm.
griddles. Go ahead, Ro.
This storm is record breaking. It is tied with the strongest storm that ever was, and that was in 1980. In
Well,
the
the strongest storm that we ever recorded, at least.
yeah, in human history, yeah, in recorded history.
Well, who else is recording our history, bro? The dogs?
Well, no, we came
Maybe
from
the
monkeys,
aliens.
so
Maybe
they.
the aliens.
I'm sure they had meteorologist monkeys.
Maybe, you never know.
I want me some glory hole.
Just never know.
Oh, me and my brother do hurricane dances. Like, we love hurricane season. My brother literally just mowed his lawn into the shape of a hurricane.
My ex-wife used to do a snow dance. Something about she'd put her fucking pajamas on inside out, get some ice cubes, and fucking dance like a fucking savage around the fuck. I don't know, man. It was nuts.
I love the wind. That's my favorite part of the hurricane is the wind.
Be like that guy with the American flag playing Slayer in the background.
No, not so much. I'll play some Petey Pablo and some 3-6 Mafia. Or some Eric Benet. He's got a song called Hurricane.
Yeah.
That's a great song, actually. It's a classical R&B jam. Ooh, tits.
What I miss?
I heard titties. I was like, what? Where?
Oh, it was on my personal computer.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys. What we got? It's about 10 minutes before the show's gonna start. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play another song here. Go ahead and get Facebook Live ready, and when we come back, we'll probably have our guest on with us. So give us about 10 minutes here, and we'll have our guest on. And in the meantime, I'm gonna rock you like a hurricane.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio.
All right. Welcome back to WTF Wednesdays with your host, Jim Beam. We got on the line, we got our guest tonight, and he has graciously offered to open up his farm for the evacuees coming out that's got some RVs, need a place to go. His name is John Jackson. He's from Comfort Farms, and we'll introduce him and let him tell us about what he's got going on there. How you doing, John?
I'm doing good, Jim. Thanks for having me on today, man.
Oh, absolutely. We appreciate you being here, and I like to say thank you for everyone, and hopefully there'll be a lot of people take advantage of this opportunity that you've given out for a place for somebody to go.
Right. Absolutely.
So what you got going over there at the farm?
All right, man. So what we're doing right now is, I had a couple of families that I knew of that called me up, and we have 2 houses, and I'm gonna be hosting some families that are gonna be evacuating from that area, and or from the area that may be impacted. And then we got to thinking that we have about 300 acres of land back there. And I wanted to see if I could do, what my capabilities would be. And so looking at it now, we're realizing that, there's a lot of folks who vacation down in Florida, things like that. They have RVs. They're going to need to be moving up north into a place. And I'll be honest with you, Jim, we may very well be in the same and, have issues around here, especially with like tornadoes and things like that. But one of the things that we're concerned about, obviously, is the flooding and people getting out. So I got some veterans on our farm because Comfort Farms is a farm for vets, help with the traumatic brain injury and post traumatic stress, help with communication with families and things like that. So we got a lot of folks that volunteer for us. I got a guy out there bush hogging right now, several acres of land, getting it prepped up for RV sites. We don't necessarily have all the generators and food and water, but for folks who actually need a place to stay and camp, they can bring their RVs to Comfort Farms. We'll have a list of rules, obviously, because we are a farm, and we have an agribusiness where our livestock, they go to market and things like that. So we have to worry about biosecurity. We understand that people have pets, and we want them to bring their pets, but what we want them to do is make sure that they could at least take a photo of their vaccinations and things like that, because when you start pulling in all the resources and people into one area, we also have to think about safety as well. And so there's a bunch of logistical issues. It's kind of spurred on to us things that we want to definitely partner with Team Rubicon, who is doing an outstanding job across the United States on doing some things and actually teaching more our community on how to be first responders. Because man, when the crap hits the fan, pretty much it's like everybody's a first responder, and that's what we got to be right now. So that's pretty much some of the things we're doing on the farm for this evacuation.
Hey, that's some awesome stuff right there. Now, what do you normally do with your farm when there's not a natural disaster and you're opening it up to allow evacuees or displaced people to go?
Okay, so pretty much what we do, we are working with therapists who like to think outside the box. I want therapists who understand that veterans, when we come in, if we have a problem, we have issues, we don't necessarily want to sit in the office with four walls, in a confined space to talk to you about our problems. A lot can go, a lot of the communication goes a long way, and also the connection with a vet. If that therapist can go out there and break some dirt, sweat a little bit with that vet, and get some skin in the game, literally. And then that we feel that vets can definitely open up. It's you weren't able to put on a rucksack with me. You weren't able to deploy with me. Most of these therapists haven't been able to do. But show me something that you care, because my story is worth it. And so kind of like with our vets and the therapists, these guys are working together. They're coming out. They're doing the things that they need to do, and it's just kind of a good icebreaker to get that vet focused on doing something else. And it's getting these therapists to kind of use the agrotherapy, which I talk about in my TED's talk. This agrotherapy conditioning, having to farm condition vets to their new normal, being able to use that as a way that's going to give them a better quality of life. And so with that, we focus on those type of things. But the farm is a thriving farm, man. I mean, we grow a lot of fruits and vegetables. We have livestock. We have a farmers market that's a huge buzz right now. We're in Georgia. We get folks from North Carolina and also from Tennessee and Florida who actually and Alabama who come to our farmers market when we have it open, because we pay really good attention to the produce and livestock that we raise on the farm.
That's amazing, man.
It's good stuff, man.
I might be in the path of this hurricane, man, if it shifts. I mean, if y'all might have to evacuate your damn selves.
Right.
Ooh, it's gonna be a tough one.
I know it is, man. It's 400 miles wide, and
yeah, it ain't no baby.
Yeah, and you figure Florida is 160 miles wide, or some folks say 100 miles wide, and it's about 500 miles long. Florida is, and so you just look at a 400-mile wide hurricane that has 185 mile sustained wind going 12 to 15 miles an hour. We just saw pictures of what it did to St. Martin. 80% of the island is destroyed. Yeah. And and we're talking to folks and we're letting them know not all doom and gloom, but you figure, man, if that storm is projected to come straight up the middle of Florida, you're going to get, it's already 200 feet below sea level anyway. I mean, you might survive the storm, but it's the after effect that we're looking at. Yeah, that's gator country.
Yes, it is.
That's gator country. And if you got to walk with your children from, one place to the next, and you're in those streets, you're not just stepping over potholes. I mean, things may be moving under your feet, and that's just the reality of it.
I got some assets down in Panama City, Florida.
Right.
And I'm kind of freaked out about they will be gone forever.
Yep. And look at it too, man. I mean, Florida has, and I hate to sound all doom and gloom, but if we can't plan for the worst, then we got to look at it. You look at bull sharks, okay? They can live in fresh water, okay? Yep. If you get bull sharks go up the river. Mm-hmm. So if they're the number one shark that causes the most human fatalities in the world, and Florida is just thick with them. So I'm just saying, I know those are the things that I would be looking at if I had my family and all 6 of my feral children running around down there, that I would definitely want to make sure, that I'm going to keep them safe and I'm not going to put them in any unnecessary harm.
Hey, Jason Halter on the Facebook live chat, you're in Melbourne, Florida. You need to get the fuck out. You got to go, bro. For real, go. There ain't no, this. It don't matter if it hits left side of Florida, right side of Florida. You're fucked, bud. You're on the edge.
You're on the edge. It's going to hit Florida regardless. It's going to hit Florida. And matter of fact, Savannah just they just reported that, you know, when they give the command for everyone to leave and evacuate, and people don't, they're locking them up, and they're going to lock up people who come back early. They're not playing around. South Carolina just put out that that this is the time to prepare. This is the time to prepare to evacuate. This is not the time to sit down and figure out, you know, how you're going to wait out the storm. I mean, this is a big storm.
You know, it's the record-breaking storm, right? This is in recorded history. It is tied with is the one back in '80. So it's got one more mile per hour over, and it will win. I mean, this is
was that Andrew?
Yeah.
No, Andrew was the '92 that hit Miami.
Talking like Hugo.
Something like that, Hugo or some shit like that.
I want to bring it real quick and tell everybody on Facebook Live as the feed's being shared around to different sites and back over to the main page. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is WTF Wednesdays here. We are WTF Nation Radio. We are the voice of U.S. Army What the Fuck Moments. And on tonight with us, we have a gentleman here, John Jackson, who has graciously offered a place on his farm. Said he has room for about 20 RVs if people need a place to go. He's up in Georgia, so he's here to talk about that. Also, his farm it's called Comfort Farms. It's a healing farm for veterans. It's open throughout the year for to help vets, and he'll discuss that throughout the show tonight. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, man. No, you're absolutely right. It is a record breaker in so many ways. Not just even the miles per hour, but the size and mass of this thing is huge. Most of the other storms were around 160 miles wide long. I think the biggest one who actually had the highest winds, but this one is 400 miles wide. And we're not even talking about the daggone storm behind it. There's another one up and right behind it, you know.
Little Jose.
Yeah, Jose, you know, and so, I mean, that's a whole nother issue. And a lot of folks in Georgia, I tell you, a lot of folks in Georgia are like, you know, we'll be good. Everything's good. And what they don't realize is we've had record rainfall this year.
So the ground's soaked.
The ground is soaked. And so right now, what we're looking at too is these trees, these big old trees being compromised and challenged, their integrity being compromised and challenged by even a tropical storm. You know, winds of anywhere between 50 to 70. They talking about this thing hitting landfall at 140 to 150. You know, it's gonna be devastating, and I hope
y'all's water's table is absolutely to the brim, right?
Yeah, right now it is. Last year we had a drought. You know, being a farmer, it was the worst thing that I've seen. 4 months not having any water. This year, I mean, it's rained and rained and rained and rained. And you know, it is what it is. As a farmer, we take it. We do what we need to do with it. But with these storms coming in now, it's really going to compromise a lot of situations throughout the Southeast.
Do all in your area? Do the farmers come together and y'all have like a kinship out there where y'all all take care of each other?
I'll tell you right now, one of the hardest things for farmers to do is to leave their livestock. You know, because I mean, if you think about it, that's their livestock. It's like the stock market, except it's just live. You know, and that's money. And so the thing is, a lot of farmers are, you know, like their ship. They're going to stay with their farm and hunker down, make sure that their families are okay. But a lot of farmers are going to sit down and hunker down. One of the things that we don't have, which there is an organization out there that's working on it. I just did a photo shoot with them this past year to raise money and awareness, is they have an insurance and plans to help farmers move their livestock to other areas and locations that are affected by, you know, by the weather and things like that.
What a logistics nightmare.
It is. I mean, you think about if you got to go ahead and pick up all your cattle. especially a damn goat that don't want to listen anyway.
Yeah.
And in pigs, I mean, which I was chasing 20 pigs tonight. I just made it in nick of time to get on this show. But when you got stuff like that going on, it just adds a whole nother level of stress, And so I have folks right now who are wanting to bring whole herds of goats. We're gonna pen them up. We're gonna do what we need to do, and we're working around the clock, And we're not funded by federal government or anything. This is all grassroots project, and what I get out of my pension is being a disabled vet. But we really see the need for as we expand to have these comfort farms, in our communities as not just places for vets, but as a place for where vets can actually give back to the community and help the community, almost kind of like a divisional headquarters in a sense in a community where we can operate just like we did overseas or when we're in garrison to support our communities.
I think it's a beautiful thing that you got going on there, because once you get a veteran's mind off of his bullshit and give him a mission and get them out of their head, and no bullshit, hard work really, really helps.
Jim, one of the things is so funny. I get veterans, right? And real quick story. I got a vet. He comes in and he's been taking, pills to go to sleep, Ambien and all this kind of stuff. And I knew, and I just kind of just shrugged it off. But one day we had to go catch up some hogs, and I had to cut some hog nuts, because some of my boars, I gotta go ahead and cut them up. We call them barrows, and we feed them out, and so that way they can get the market weight. Well, this guy was holding one and using all his strength. I mean, these pigs wore him out. The next day he came in to me. He said, "John, man, I was so tired." He goes, I went for the first time. I went to sleep without using any medication. I said, "I know you did. Because those pigs wore your ass out." But that's just how it is on the farm. The farm has a way of really taking all your senses and just using it. Where, I mean, it's almost just kind of like being in the military, And that's what's great about it. That's what I love about this project that we're working on right now.
Pookie will go eat those nuts. You can sell them to him.
Hell no, I ain't eating no goddamn hog nuts, man.
Look, all you got to do is still bacon.
No.
They're good, actually, man. They're not bad. They're not bad.
You fry them up, Pookie.
Yeah,
hell
man.
to the no.
Dude,
Eat them with cocktail sauce, man. That's what we do.
They're cut off and fried up and shit, man. You don't eat them right off the hog.
These nuts.
No, I already done fucking ate some goddamn, what do they call them, Rocky Mountain oysters. I ain't no more goddamn balls the rest of my life, man. Screw that.
I'll tell you what, man, the balls off some pigs are fucking huge.
Yeah, we got some that's as big as a human head, both sides.
Yeah.
Damn, that's like Hogzilla there.
That's a fucking pot roast.
You cut your hogs like 6 months before you serve them up?
Say again?
You gotta cut your hogs about 6 months before you serve them up?
I do it when they're about, I guess, 8 weeks, after they're weaned. And it's the ones that we're not going to keep as breeders. So yeah, I do it when they're young. I try not to do it any older than that, because just for me, I mean, you got to look. Hogs, a full-grown hog has the cognitive ability of a 4-year-old child. So think about a 4-year-old child at daggone 400 pounds. Yeah,
I got you.
Honey Boo Boo.
Oh damn!
Are you talking about her or Mama?
Both of them. Well, her mama, didn't she get that get skinny surgery?
Man, I don't know, man. I don't watch.
Well, I mean, Honey Boo Boo is still a fucking blimp, and she's 4 years old. So
I think she's older now, dude.
Oh, it is what it is.
She's from this town where we're at too.
Oh my God! Please tell me she's in a pen.
No, man, but you know what? Honestly, she's one of the very few celebrities that keep it real. Like, she didn't go on let fame take her, whatever it is. I mean, she's pretty. Yeah, from what I learned about her, she's pretty humble. So I used to laugh and joke until I learned about her, man. She's I never met her, but from what people say about her, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty good.
We should get her on the show.
We should.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, y'all talk about them big hogs, man. I went to a restaurant here a few weeks ago and I ordered the country steak. Oh my God! They brought this thing out. It was about 3 or 4 inches thick and probably about 20 inches big around. I was like, God damn! I said, "What y'all do? Cut that off Hogzilla?"
I mean, seriously, there's some you can.
You ain't seen the hogs up in Virginia, then?
I'm off it, dude. Y'all see I have acidity.
Oh, you scared of them hogs, man?
Well, I got treed by them and an emu. So I mean, everybody knows my story. I'll tell him.
Was them domesticated pigs, or was that some wild feral hogs?
There were wild feral hogs in Fort Benning when I was doing land nav.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that ain't
they
nothing.
treed my ass.
Get your ass surrounded by a bunch of monkeys in Panama in the jungle. Them motherfuckers are whoop. You ain't never been whooped. You've been whooped by a monkey.
Yeah, I used to do research, and monkeys are nasty. Monkeys are nasty.
I hear they taste pretty good.
What? That's too close to a human, man.
Dude, he won't eat no hog nuts, but he'll eat a fucking damn chimpanzee.
I'll eat a gorilla. I don't give a shit.
Watch your fucking mouth. Rest in peace, Harambe. You are sick son of a bitch, Pookie. Oh my goodness.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I might take a bite just to see what it tastes like.
I'll eat probably. I've eaten dog, so I'll probably eat anything if you lie to me.
Tell you about it later.
Yeah, that's what they did in Korea.
Well, you guys need to come to Comfort this after winter around January, February, when we'll have our local critter stew. Raccoons, possums, you name it.
Okay, I'm a Mississippi boy, and I've had possum.
Oh yeah,
that is the grossest fucking shit in the world.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of possum, but I got some locals around here that told me they make a mean possum. So we'll see what they can do, and we'll at the end of the year, man, we'll do a critter stew and just have fun with it, man, and see where it goes.
Faith said if you make it, she'll try it.
All right, I do a mean raccoon though. I tell you that.
Raccoon's good.
I've never had it.
Oh, tastes like beef.
It does taste like beef. Yep. Tastes like roast beef, actually.
So does dog.
It's like I said, I've eaten coyote before, and coyote kind of tastes like duck, kind of in a weird way, but whatever.
Jay, I'll tell you what. Next year, man, you need to go down to Comfort Farms.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it, man. Seriously.
We'll come down and do a remote down there.
Yeah,
I'm only 8-hour drive from where I'm at, so it works.
Now we're doing on farm pig picking, and get some. We'll eat. We eat pretty good around here. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, we'll work
so
out
the one thing about living on a farm is you eat good on a farm.
Oh yeah.
We'll work out the logistics of it, and then we'll put it out, and maybe we'll just have invite a bunch of the nation and see who shows up.
Oh yeah, we could definitely around that time is really good because we can have bonfires, guys can camp out. We'll just get some porta johns, whatever, and it's just it's a real good, peaceful place, man. I mean, you'll love it, and it's one of those things that, this is kind of like the VFW of our time, where folks can come and just chill, relax, do the things that they need to do, and be a part of something that's really meaningful.
That's amazing. I like getting back to the earth. And getting outside, and
exactly
that really, Mother Nature is a dirty, dirty bitch. Well, we all can see that, but I mean, she's also amazing.
She is, man. I like that analogy right there, actually.
I mean, Irma. Let's be honest. You ain't never met an Irma in your life that you liked. That's a bullshit name.
I've never
Well,
met
my
a hermit.
grandmother's name was Edna. She was cool.
Mine was Doris. Why does everybody like there? You know you're old if you got one of those '50s names like Doris, Edna, Gladys,
Maybelle, Pansy.
Maybelle. Ruby.
Yeah.
Everybody knows an Aunt Ruby. Everybody got an Aunt Ruby.
So, what type of hogs do you guys like? I heard you guys back in January. And I just can't remember what kind of hogs you got out on your property out there.
All right, so we specialize in rare heritage breeds. So I raise what they call American Mulefoot. It's less than 2,000 of them in the world. Andrew Zimmerman came here and from Bizarre Food Networks, and we did a show. You guys can catch it on the Travel Channel, the Civil War episode of this year, and we cooked for him some Mulefoot hog, which the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, they raised money for us. They've been doing really good on our fundraising for the past couple of years, and we appreciate everything. We had them on the show. And then we had what they call a Mangalista. It's a pig from Hungary, and it has the Russian wild boar in it, and also some old heritage lines from Europe. And the thing about our meat for our hogs is it's red. It doesn't look like the other white meat that you get from the supermarket. Our meat looks like beef, and it's marbled like a ribeye. I mean, it's super, super good. And it's almost what we call the Kobe of pork. Yeah,
I'm getting hungry right now. I'm sorry.
It is from Hungary.
Yeah, but we tell folks that and how we market it is it's not the other white meat. We call it the original red meat because pigs were domesticated far long before cattle and any other animals, and that's what we market as such. And our genetics go back a very, very long time. And like I said, man, we get when people taste our pork, they eat it. They say, I get some people, they say, hey, man, why is your pork so expensive? And I say, why is your pork so cheap? Because I know what it takes. I know what it takes to raise a really good animal. And we have a really good following of folks who actually love our products. And that's all I wanted. I want Comfort Farms brand after my Ranger buddy, colleague Comfort, to stand alone and to be able to support veterans in a way that is sustainable, and that's my gift back to the veterans community, and one day we'll be able to take care of us on its own without all my input, so that way I can spend time with my family.
And I think more importantly, I think, and I would like to interrupt for a second, is that not only are you doing stuff for veterans, but now during this natural disaster is coming in, you've opened up to just, you don't have to be a veteran. If you need a place to go, you have an RV. You're trying to evacuate the area, head over onto the Facebook page, the Comfort Farms, get a hold of John over there, and they'll work out the logistics with you. And so you got a place to go. Like I said, they don't have water and electricity, everybody, but you should probably be prepared for that if you have an RV.
Right. And I will tell you guys, Milledgeville is one special town. This community supports our veteran community in ways that I never even thought imaginable. I mean, it's just a beautiful, beautiful town. The first responders here, the servicemen, the police officers, and the EMTs and the firefighters, they are so supportive. They're helping me on the back scenes to be able to generate lists and generate a packet for folks. I asked them a question, they're on it, right on the spot. So there's a lot of support. There's a lot of love here. And, we appreciate, anybody who's looking to come to a safe place with some really good people. And all we ask is, just respect the community and kind of, mind your manners and things like that. But this is a pretty forgiving place and a very, very nice place to be.
This sounds like a good, I just love the South, man. And it sounds like it's got that Southern hospitality and that Southern living. And
yep.
What's Andrew Zimmerman like?
He's a cool dude, man. He's a cool dude. I didn't know what to expect, because we saw his crew a couple of days prior, and they said, hey, Andrew's going to come in, and they asked me to put that show together in a way where that we can kind of showcase our stuff. They are very flexible, man. Very flexible. I killed a rabbit in front of him. He was hardcore, man, as you would expect. We ate liver together, so we kind of bonded a little bit. And it was just, we talked about some political things. Man, the stuff that his crew does, they go into places that we would never think about going in without body armor and daggone tanks and A-10s. They're there by themselves. And they have to rely on just instinct and gut intuition that it's a bad place. And many of those times, things that they've talked about, really, I wouldn't have been surprised. They were so close from being on Al Jazeera, probably getting their heads chopped off, So, and he's a Jewish guy, too, in a lot of these places that don't really care for him, and so.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like I'm cool with anybody's religion or whatever. That's completely cool with me. Like I'll never kill nobody for their religion.
Right.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
You ever feel in danger because of what you quietly believe?
Right. And that's what makes you American, Jim.
I get.
You get me and Jay. I know there's two of us here. It's not just one of us.
Okay.
That's Jay ready.
Jim's the pretty one.
Oh, all right, Jim.
And I'm the ugly one.
I'm glad you said that.
I'm looking at y'all's Facebook page, man. It is littered with knowledge nuggets. I love it.
I just had one honest question. How do you feed your hogs? Do you feed them grain? What do you feed them? Or are they just free range fed? How's that work?
Yeah, so we feed them a really varied diet. They're running in the woods. I call them bush raised hogs. So they're running out in the bush. There's acorns out in that bush. There's, fruit like persimmons and things like that fall through. We feed them all the farm vegetables, the stuff that we don't use. All those things go to them. But hogs in the wild, they'll need protein. When hogs root, they're rooting for grubs. Down here in the South, we grow soldier fly larvae. They have 42% protein in them, and we try to feed them as much as that larva as possible. Also, chicken eggs. We give them a lot of chicken eggs, for protein and things like that. We also
raise chickens too?
Yeah, we have chickens. Yep, we raise chickens. We also feed them. We get a baker's dough, from the bakery. The things that they can't use, and that has a lot of, it has a lot of molasses in it, some nuts, some fruit and things like that, to put on calories, because our hogs, unlike a commercial hog, is going to take about 8 months to 12 months to grow compared to 4 months in a confinement pen, because our hogs are out there running in the brush, and they're burning calories. They're putting on muscle. So we got to feed them a lot to put on a fat in conjunction with building the muscle.
These dudes are huge.
Yeah.
I'm looking at them right now. Oh my god!
It's it'd be almost equivalent, even wild boar almost at that point. The way you feed them, then pretty much.
Yeah, but 10 times better. Yeah.
Man,
I'm gonna have to order me some.
These are the Arnold Schwarzenegger of pigs.
Well, hell, they're feeding them protein shakes.
Look at, dude, these bucket of larvae. I'm looking at it. That looks delicious.
They're taking eggs and fucking bread and larvae and throws a little fruit in there. Man, that sounds like a fucking smoothie.
That's the way you're supposed to raise them.
And that's one of the concerns that we have, being a pig farmer. So, a lot of people, they look at the pigs and they say, oh, they're cute. They want to go check them out. So when these evacuees come here, our pigs are off limit. to them, because like what a lot of people don't understand is that pigs have a lot of similar genetic makeup as humans, and the pathogens can cross over. So if you're sick, like if you have a sickness, yeah, absolutely. You know, those retroviruses and things like that. So we have to be very careful that, you know, although we're gonna take in evacuees, we have to be really mindful of the animals on our property. Biosecurity is of number one importance, especially if somebody else came from a farm and maybe just even carrying, parasites on their boots and things like that going around our pig pens. We can have a serious issue. So our pig pens are going to be off limits to the evacuees, and that's going to be in a packet as well.
Smart, very smart.
Yeah, that's good farming practice right there. Though.
Yeah.
Do you watch The Walking Dead?
Yeah, I love The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I mean, you see what happened there when they got the swine flu.
Yeah, it can happen, man. It can happen. It can happen. You know,
people started dying and shit.
I was thinking the same shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's our livelihood. That's the farm's livelihood to generate, to generate income for the farm, and our genetics are pretty strong too. And yeah, our hogs, because they're raised up in the wild like that, they have a really good immune system. But we don't want to jeopardize, our livelihood with that. And we hope people understand that. We're not being mean, but there's going to be certain measures that we have to take on the farm to still protect the business that the farm has to run, every week to generate funding.
So if y'all are gonna take him up on this offer, y'all be on y'all's best behavior, or I'm gonna come whoop y'all's ass.
Exactly. You have two big old rednecks coming and whooping your ass.
Yeah, man.
What two big rednecks you talking about?
Yeah, I'm about to say I ain't a redneck, motherfucker.
I guess I'm a redneck. Never mind. Whatever.
Yeah, and two, we don't use chemicals. We have bees. We have bees on the property as well, that we're raising, and we don't spray on the property. So there's a lot in the packet that we, when folks come through, they'll understand how this working farm and things like that. And we want people to be comfortable, not having a whole bunch of rules. Weapons, my team asked about weapons, and I'm a big Second Amendment guy, but I feel that when folks do come, they bring in weapons, they need to stay in their vehicles. We're not going to have like unholstered weapons or holstered weapons there. Keep your weapons in your vehicle. We still believe that people need a right to protect themselves, because you never know, man. I mean, you get in a situation like Katrina where all mass hysteria breaks loose, and you got to have a way to take care of yourself. So we're not against weapons, but our weapons policy is to keep them locked away in your vehicles, in your home immediate space. So,
you mentioned bees.
Yes.
One thing that I love about honey is the diversity of the flavors, and you can tell where it comes from by what the bees feed on. And I bet your honey is just perfect.
Oh yeah,
the same shit.
Are you talking to John, or are you trying to put a Facebook ad out?
Oh, touche. That did sound pretty sexual, didn't it?
I bet your honey's the best tasting.
I guess that's a sound clip.
Now we get folks at our market. They come in, and some honey may be darker than others and things like that. And what I have to remind people is that the bees, they're going out there depending on what type of nectar is, what type of flowers are in bloom at that time, right? That's what they're going to be really. That's what the consistency of the honey would be. So we have privet. We have a privet forest that we use for our hogs. When those things are in bloom, I mean, they're hitting the privet hard. Our honeysuckle, all of our herbs that we grow, they're hitting those things hard. And so it's like there's going to be a very diverse array of different type of nectars that these guys pull from to create, the unique honey blend that we have, on Comfort Farms.
I'm sold. That's a
No,
fucking
no.
ad right there. That's perfect.
I've got a question though. Like, you guys, I know you said it's farm to table kind of thing or whatever it is, but do you guys also sell like via online kind of
We're
deal
working
too?
on that. We're working on that. And part of the thing when we raise funds, because we're going through a fundraising, we're putting together a fundraising packet. One of the things that we're going to do, upgrade. We need a commercial kitchen, so that way we can create.
Oh, like an FDA approved
Yeah,
kitchen kind of thing.
USDA.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, all right.
We're going to have that here on the farm, because one of the things I'll be teaching these these homeless vets and these displaced vets is how to take one product and create another product with it, because that's where the value is. Making prosciutto from a ham leg of from pork, or making copa or salamis and things like that, or even just doing, we have so much okra. How do you pickle okra? We need that type of infrastructure on the farm to be able to teach those things. And also, the value added is just not in the products that we create, but also for the other small farmers that we're partnering with to create the farm. We want them to have some entrepreneurial spirit too, and be able to use that space to create their own products. So, they can't necessarily go out and buy a commercial kitchen for their own use, but that's where we see our value is in the community, to be able to give back, to have this infrastructure there for them to be able to use these things too, for a small fee, of course, but for them to be able to create their own value-added products to get out in the market as well.
I got a question. I seen you guys make your own soap there out of the lard. Now, is there any manly soap here? Or is this all, rainbow?
No, man. We got some. We have a little bit of both. So the first soap we made was a honeysuckle sage. I created that with the girls that actually do the soap using our lard and the goat's milk and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that was just great. And so, but then I kind of gave them freedom to kind of do what they want to do too, And so they've come up with some cherry lime, which is really, really smelling great. It's funny, man, because a lot of these like girlfriends and wives come here and they buy this soap for the husbands. They say, "Hey, I want you smelling like this," and you see the husband. But no, we have some really, really good soaps. We'll be able to sell those online too, and those are made with the products right from the farm, and they're really, really, really good soaps.
I'm going to name my next kid Honeysuckle Sage.
That's nice, man. I like that.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful name. As long as she don't turn into the second coming of Honey Boo Boo, you'll be all right.
Oh my gosh,
John, I got a question for you that came up was, do you have any openings for help around the farm, maybe for some lucky or a few displaced vets or anything like that, for anybody like to come down and go to work or have a job?
Yeah, so what we're working on, that's what I was talking to you about, funding. I am looking to get this project funded where I can take in 10 vets for 2 years. And we're not at that point right now because of obviously funding requirements. It's going to require staff, and right now I don't have that. But we're working on that, and we're pretty close to getting that. But right now, the farm is open for volunteers to come in, for guys who want to spend like the weekend, or a couple of days, to kind of work on the farm, get away. It's open to anybody. You want to get away? You give me a call, send me a message. Hey, man, I want to take about 2-3 days, come out to the farm, just kind of get away. That's what it's for. I get guys who are functional, and they're doing what they need to do, but maybe they're not communicating with the wife just like they want to, right? And so they just kind of need a cool off period. Well, that's what Comfort Farms is for. You come down, man, you give me a call, spend some time. You will work, it's a vacation and a retreat, but also it's a place to exert some energy. And most of the guys who come down to kind of break away, we talk, we do what we have to do. I'm a peer, it's peer to peer pretty much. And if it's required where I need to get a therapist in there to help them further along, then we'll do that. But the resources are there for any vet anywhere in the United States if they want to come for a couple of days to kind of just press that reset button. We are here to help, and my plan is by next year have the funding to do further stuff and starting off with 10 vets for a 2-year program.
There you go, Pookie. Sign up.
Yeah, and with that 10-year, with those 10 vets, I'm also looking for a stipend to pay those guys too while they're on the farm and take care of all their stuff and give them a stipend. A lot of programs are just focused on the immediate, and I feel like if we're gonna do what we say that we're gonna do, help transform lives, we really need to be given enough on the back end. When I went through and I became a Ranger, United States Army Ranger, 75th Ranger Battalion. It did not happen in one day. It was a process. It was a period of time that took. But on day one of leaving the Army or the military, they expect you to be a civilian again. There's no ramp down, and so we're going to show that through the agrotherapy and the program that we create, that this ramp down is going to be really, really effective in grounding the veteran and getting him back to just make sense of life again and being able to contribute, because every vet wants to contribute some way. They don't want to stop serving. That's the whole thing about being a vet. You sign up to serve and you got that calling. And when we're not serving, when we're not doing what we were called to do, that's when we have problems. So that's what we're going to build back into that program. And I got a lot of experience in being able to help folks get to where they need to get, because it also helps me. That's my therapy and helping others too.
They say idle hands are the devil's workshop, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wrap your hands around a pig and let it drag you 5 miles.
Well, we call them North American rhinos where I'm at, and I got a big old 700-pounder that got 3 piglets that I need help with, because she gonna tear that gate down when I go for piglets this week.
Oh my God! Take pictures.
Oh God! It's like,
Seriously,
like where I live in Virginia. Virginia is a big hog farming area, and my favorite thing to do is I like to butcher, and it's just one of my passions, I like doing it.
Nice. Nice. We do have an on-site butcher place that we could do some on-site slaughter. We're going to be teaching butchering classes, and come up in the fall and winter and things like that. Because a lot of people don't, you think about situations where you're displaced, and you're relying on the supermarket for food. Do you know how to kill a rabbit? Do you know how to kill a hog, properly? Do you know how to skin a hog? Do you know how to gut it? Do you know what to look for with regards to the organs to make sure that it's healthy, that you're not gonna poison the people that you eat? Do you know how to prepare it properly?
That sounds like a great class to teach.
Oh yeah, we're going to teach it pretty much from the rooter to the tutor, or tail to tip. That's kind of that's kind of what we're all about, and using that whole animal, for food. And it's, we'll do it, and we'll have wine and whiskey, and, it's, it'll be sponsored, but those are the kind of things that we bring to the table with Comfort Farms on doing some dynamic training and real good community involvement with that stuff.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right about that, because, I do some hunting and been around it all my life. And, there's an art to processing an animal.
Yeah.
And it really is. And after you by trial and errors, and then, by being taught by maybe your father or older brothers or uncles or whatever, you learn how to process, even cleaning fish. There's certain processes where you gain the maximum amount of meat from it. And it really is an art form. And just even know that. It saves,
we don't
it saves
teach
a lot
that
of
anymore.
time, and a lot of meat is not wasted that way.
Right. And another thing that we do, especially with our hogs, back in the day, like in the 13, 14, 1500s, a lot of these hogs had these lard hogs were really created because their lard was used in so many different ways. It was used to burn, to make candles, to burn. It was also used as cooking oil. I mean, it's the nutritional value is up there with olive oil on a lot of these rare, large heritage breeds. And so one of the things when Andrew Zimmerman came to the show, when we butchered that hog, I seared the rabbit that I killed for him. I seared that rabbit meat in the pork fat of that hog, and yeah, buddy, and browned it up.
You're making me hungry, man.
I'm gonna go watch this episode and jack off.
Damn, Jay Ready.
I browned that rabbit in the pig lard from mule foot. And we put our aromatics in there, our celery, our onions, and our carrots and things like that, and deglazed it with some white wine and threw some broth in there and some herbs, and we let that stuff simmer. And I'm big on rabbit. It's one of my favorite things to cook. And when Andrew Zimmerman told me that my rabbit was world class and some of the best that he's tasted, I mean that really meant a lot to me because I put a lot of time into that.
Damn.
So
you raise your own rabbit?
Yeah, we have our own rabbits on the farm.
Oh man, you got the legit farm then, man. You got your own rabbits, chickens, everything. Oh wow, all right, cool. I thought you were talking about wild rabbits. So it's like, oh man, this is legit.
No, we just we had a grant last year that we got. We taught about 60 veterans in the state of Georgia on the business of farming. We just got another grant this year towards December where we're actually gonna be teaching hydroponics and things like that. And we're working on another grant that we're going to be doing for small acreage. You think about how many I want you to farm, but the people's perceptions of farming is that you need 100 to 1,000 acres. Well, we're doing 5 acre plots or less, because most people have 5 acres, And there's a guy named Jean Martiniere out in Quebec, Canada. He makes $150,000 a year off 1.5h acres. So
yeah.
I need to speak with this man. Hold on.
Was he growing weed?
No, he actually he has a book called The Market Gardener, and I recommend that book to anyone that's getting into farming on a small scale because you can do small scale high yield, and it's kind of the Bible of what we go by. Because he teaches that, small intensive farming can be, it's more profitable in a way than large scale monoculture things. And so those are the things that we teach, because you probably can't go out there and afford 100 to 1,000 acres, but, 5 acres is within reach. 1.5 acres is within reach,
I've got a favor to ask you.
Yes.
To grow one thing, just one What the Fuck Nation Radio plant on your farm, just one, and make it and have it be the Carolina Reaper plant.
All right, man. Look, I tell you, so next year we're putting in place. We're doing a bunch of raised beds. Probably going to be about 55 of them going around in our market garden. We need to make it accessible for wheelchair-bound vets and vets who have prosthetics and things like that, and kind of make it look more like Martha Stewart lives there than Jeff Foxworthy. You know what I mean? So yeah. What we're looking at, what I'll do is I'll dedicate one of those boxes to What the Fuck Nation. And
hell yeah.
Okay.
This sounds awesome.
We go down there, Jay Ready. You gonna eat one of them Reapers?
I'll do it. Look, and some tomatoes. I love tomatoes.
Oh yeah, we sell a lot of tomatoes, man. We sell a lot of tomatoes.
I don't like. You said okra earlier. I love fried okra, and I like it in gumbo, but boiled okra, it's not my thing.
I don't like boiled okra either. It's like snot to me, but whatever.
No, we actually, okra is one of those things that we roast it. We roast our okra with a little olive oil, and we throw some sea salt and pepper on it. It tastes wonderful. The other day I was watching my Mangalitsa hogs not eating the okra, but they were actually eating the okra leaves. And usually if you look at nature of what animals are eating, it kind of gives you a good indication of kind of, what's nutritional or not. And I did some research and found out that okra leaves are like beet greens and spinach. And so that's a whole new product out there, that a product line that can be used in marketing, especially for a lot of these high-end chefs always looking for new product, that we're going to actually start looking into.
Dude, hit them with it.
Greens.
I would say
Hit 'em
like
hard.
radish greens. Radish greens the same way. A lot of people don't realize radish greens are good for you.
Absolutely.
Never
Absolutely.
happened.
And potato greens. Potato greens are amazing. Africans eat those. And usually, if you think about in Africa, most of the plants from Africa were generated to be eaten from the root all the way up to the stem, flowers, and leaves, because they had to be resourceful. And so if you go back to okra, if you look at potatoes, if you look at a lot of bean varieties that are coming out of Africa, the whole plant is pretty much edible.
I'll be damned. I love vegetables so much
And
too. Oh
healthier
my
for you.
God.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like the potato skins. The skin is the most nutritional.
Is it?
That's what I've been told.
Well, not when I put all the.
never skin my potatoes. When I make mashed potatoes, I leave the skin up in them motherfuckers, because that is where you get your nutrition at.
Well, I'll tell you, I put butter and sour cream and salt and pepper and all that bad shit in there, and bacon and everything, and it ain't good for shit.
Bacon's good for you, loaded with protein and fat, man. You need protein and fat in your life, man.
Well, I mean, I've already got a plethora. I'm good to go.
Is that like fake leather?
That's,
It's pleather.
I thought maybe you're sitting on your pleather couch eating that plethora of oil.
that tickled me to death. Oh my God.
Don't kill me, man.
That's what we're here for, to entertain everybody. And I guess a lot of times educate too. There's a lot of our guests comes on to really give us some education, and we appreciate you, John. You open our eyes to a lot of things. I know my brother's going to retire in about 2.5, 3 years, and we've been talking about going into some aquaponics, and we've got a greenhouse, and we've got a lot of stuff together. So we're going to see.
Hey, I got a question.
We're going to do the fish, and they really say that the wastewater that comes out from the fish has a lot of value for fertilizer.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's great. And you can actually call your vegetables organic when you do that. So, I mean, it's good. It's good.
I got a question from one of our.
You go ahead, Jay. Ready? Never mind.
I got a question from one of our staff members. Who does y'all's grant writing, and is there a class that can teach or provide guidance with?
Yeah, so I have a grant writer who works with us. They're from Widget Development Company, and they write grants. They write grants, and the classes for grants, we do try to get as many as we can. As far as like to get smart on those, but I'll be honest with you, it's one of those things that I can't devote my personal time because I'm so busy. I have to go ahead and find folks who are good at that. And the best thing to do is find folks who are at the university level to actually do those type of things. With whatever field that you're in, being able to connect with those folks at the university level, because that's what they do. Especially on the research and development, they have the skills of being able to write grants. So we have a person that's been really successful for us, and we're showing a track record. We go after some small grants just to do what we need to do, and then now we're able to go after some larger grants because of our track record.
That's what's up. That's my middle name. I should learn how to do it.
Oh, I was going to ask the same question, almost grant wise, like with your bee farming. Is it true you get like federal kind of like grants for raising bees nowadays?
Yeah, you can, because bees are considered endangered right now, and there's a lot of stuff going through. One thing you got to remember about writing grants is that when you read the grant, and what it's for, you need to focus on keywords. That's the number one thing. Read the grant and focus on what your proposal on those keywords that build a bridge to what they're asking for. Because a lot of people, they don't put those things in, and it's kind of like in these grant things when they come back up, they're looking for all the key words to kind of make it relevant to say, okay, this one falls in line with who we're going to actually give this to, and so that's just something kind of look forward and be innovative, be new, be fresh. That those are things that we're finding. Don't be afraid to push the envelope, and be able to show what deliverables you have. I help my grant writer out a lot, because I got a mind that just goes a million miles a minute, and I tell him, like, hey man, this is what I'm thinking, this and that, and he goes with it, and we've been pretty successful at it.
I don't know. I don't know anything about grant writing at all whatsoever.
It's tough, man.
Bureaucracy, man.
What do you do? Just write? I'm just going to Google it. Never mind. You don't have to explain it to me.
Well, they got that guy that wears that funny looking suit that sells the book. Tells you
had the money on it.
Yeah.
Oh, with the question marks and like exclamation points on his fucking suit.
That claim.
He can go fuck himself.
Well, part of the training that we got for the 2 years with taking in the 10 vets, it's actually going to be training them to be grant writers as well. We're going to have a course on that, and to be able to write grants, a proper grant, and do things, because those are the things that's going to like if you're in a business, those are the things that's really going to make or break your business. Being able to write those type of things. And I just feel that, like I said, when we turn out vets, after a 2-year period, I want them to be extremely well-rounded and diversified, because they're going to add so much value, not only to themselves, but any organization. Immigration policies right now are really strict, and there's a lot of, especially in agriculture, a lot of guys or people have left the country or afraid to even show up at work in the agricultural field. So they're looking for folks who can step up and who have good work ethic. And I know vets have great work ethic. We just need to put the time and energy into making sure that these guys have the right tools to be able to do what they need to do on a personal level before they can do anything for anybody else. And so once they leave from Comfort Farms, we really kind of want to give them the tag of approval that this is the best of the best, and they're going to be sought after.
That's cool. Land management is probably one of the big things you're teaching too, right?
Oh yeah, land management is huge, man. We have to, because it's even before we put seeds in the ground, we got to talk about how we're going to take care of the land. Permaculture design, how we're going to, improve our land. We do kind of like we're on a no-till method, because we don't want to break the microbial, the microbial organisms in the soil. We want to encourage that growth. We're even going so far as doing research on how do we restore native worms back to our area, because there's so many invasive native worms that came over here during the times of Columbus and things like that. Hardly anybody understands that there's such a thing called a native worm. And so we're looking to establish more native worm colonies, on our land, and doing a lot of things that's going to encourage just sustainable growth, on our property.
My man's a scientist.
I'm not really.
Agriculture is a science, man. Come on, man.
Absolutely.
It is. I never paid attention in ag when I was in high school. I always thought it was dumb. My grandpa had blueberry farms, catfish farm, all kind of stuff, and rotating crops and all this stuff, and I never paid attention to it. But I never not once thought about native worms. We just plucked them and went fishing.
I mean, you can even break it down to like certain plants grow really next to each other. You know, like certain. Like, it breaks down that far
Just
almost.
straight up biology and what is it? Botany.
Yeah. We plan on our farm. What we do is we have a series like so for traumatic brain injury, right? So the number one thing with traumatic brain injury is that it's a lot of guys like myself and people who have these concussive diseases is the ability to remember. So what I know, and I'm not an academic scholar or anything like that, but I do know that if you got one part of your brain that's damaged, you can rebuild it up by strengthening it and doing things. And so what we do is we take when vets come in, we have a series of what they call heavy and light. And so in our light garden, it's going to be all of our vegetables that do not require fertilizers. And then we just run it down, our leafy greens, our roots, our root vegetables, what are they? They're your beets, they're your carrots, they're your turnips, all right? They're in the light. You don't have to add fertilizer to those. Your heavy vegetables require fertilizers. What are they? Your eggplants, your peppers, your tomatoes. Then we color code everything. If I go out and I tell you, hey, I need you to go towards the tomatoes, well, what color you think you're going to be looking for? Obviously, everybody knows red. And so when you look out there, for someone who doesn't have a concussive disease, it may seem silly, but for a person who constantly forgets things every 20 to 30 seconds, it's kind of like, okay, that red is a tomato. That's where the tomato patch is. That's where I'm heading. And so what I want vets to do who are disabled, I want them to come work on the farm and feel like they're enabled. And that's one of the things that I'm doing from the ground up at the farm.
Yeah, we're really big about that. We're not about dysfunctional veterans. We're about functional veterans.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't want people to feel pitiful for vets. We don't need nobody's pity. We're here to work. I got vets right now who are wheelchair bound, who don't have legs or anything like that. And you better not reach a hand out and ask them, to help them out or anything. They got it. I mean, these guys are stellar. They come to the farm, cracking a bullwhip, waiting for me. Hey man, let's get to work, And so that's what I love about, the people who are working into this thing and the more people that we get into this program.
It's perfect, dude. I love it. There's nothing like blue collar, down home farming, and it's really it really brings you back to nature, and really it centers you, man. It's a form of it's meditation, man. With the world, it gives back. Mother Nature will give back.
Oh, absolutely, man. I remember when I was a kid, even though I'm a man, I was a boy then, but. I used to spend a lot of time with my grandparents, and my grandfather used to do a little gardening, and we used to pick blackberries, and so my grandma used to do a lot of canning, and I learned how to can when I was a kid. And,
nice.
It's a nice thing because, like I said, you make your own food, your own canned goods. You put them up. You have them when things. If the fecal matter hits the oscillating device, you have some storage there.
Nice, man. I like that, man. Do you have any of those recipes from what your grandma used to do?
I do. Matter of fact, I even got a barbecue recipe of my grandfather's, and actually, I've been thinking about trying to market it.
There you go, man. I mean, those are the kind of things though that I really. And like I just had Sonny Perdue, the Secretary of Ag, come down to Georgia. And I was asked to be part of a Georgia task force on rural prosperity. And one of the things that we sat on that panel that I told Sonny was that, being on the ground, looking at farmers around the country and around the state, the number one thing that we have problems with is the ability for just small farmers to be entrepreneurs. They might have their grandma's recipe or their grandfather's recipe that they want to market. They feel something proud about. where's the infrastructure for people to actually do those things? Why is it so hard? We have allowed, big ag and big business to put their thumb down on the little guy and not allow him to do the things that he needs to do to get part of that American dream. And
you make a good point.
And that's it, and as far as my name is John motherfucking Jackson, I'm gonna be sitting there and pushing the, poking people in the chest, making sure that we have those type of things. Everybody should have the ability to do the things that they love to do and feel passionate about.
Is there so I'm comparing this to like Walmart and small businesses. Like Walmart, say Walmart set shop in small town, it puts everybody else out of business. Does that happen in the agriculture world also?
Yeah. So right now, I can't compete with 79 cents pork chops at Walmart, right?
Well, they got shit, and you got fucking filet mignon.
Well, my pork chops go for $12 a pound, and we sell out. So the thing is, it's like you could put somebody else right next to me selling my same pork chop, but it's all about the marketing. How can you market your product? So that's another thing that we have to teach too. It's like, you may have a really great product, and yeah, we're right around the corner from a Walmart, but the world in our communities are so socially engineered right now to want a much better local sustainable product that it's really kicking the butts of these big businesses and big ag. So what has happened during the Obama administration, they created what they call FISPA. It's the safety. It's the new safety rules that are coming out against. They don't say it, but it's coming out against small producers. They're going to regulate small producers, small farmers, the same way that they regulate multi-million-dollar businesses.
Ain't no way.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. And it's going to you at the consumer level because you spent $4 billion at farmers markets, the last preceding years. That has raised some eyebrows with these guys who have lobbyists. And they are putting in they've put the pressure back on, and these new safety rules that are coming out for food safety are going to be crippling in a huge way. And that's one of the reasons why Sonny Perdue came out, ordered by the president to come out and to talk about those type of things. And as a nonprofit, I don't lobby. I can't lobby against, this, that, because we stand neutral. But as John Jackson, I can talk about what's relevant, and that has nothing to do with my nonprofit. But I can talk about what's relevant because I need small farmers to be profitable. The community needs small farmers to be profitable.
Exactly.
Exactly. No, that's just going to ask you the same question. Is that the reason why I've seen the price of beef shoot up like almost 200% over the last 2 years?
Yeah, so the beef game is a whole nother craziness, right? So beef before we'll put it like this, American beef has the highest. We have the largest herd in the world, over 100 million, around 110 million head of cattle in the United States.
Delicious.
But only 20% out of that are prime, or considered prime. So when you go out and you're looking for a prime steak, you got to remember that only 20% out of the 100 million head of cattle out there are considered prime. So so the price, the demand is for prime, but the numbers are low. Now, if you want a non-GMO, organic, if you want no hormones, no steroids, if you want a cattle like that, you're looking for less than 1% of the cattle in the United States qualify as that, right? So
That's sad, yeah.
So it's a good market for people wanting to get in, because obviously you don't want to go into a flooded market. But if you're looking to do some sort of investment and you did your research and things like that, and you're able to create your own markets and you got good branding behind you, it's something that's good to be in, because guess what? You're gonna get a premium for it. You know, and honestly, the only way to bring the prices down on a lot of these products is to have more of it. But
they're still trying to regulate that side of the market, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
What about your, like, are they eventually going to come down on you and yours, like with GMO? I mean, I'm just saying, GMOs, or like what is that seed, that corn seed?
Oh, you talking about Monsanto?
Genetically modified.
That's Monsanto.
Monsanto shit. Yeah.
They're going to come down on you with that shit.
Well, so here it is. The Monsantos of the world. I mean, and it's just my own personal opinion. They're going to be around and stay around, because I kind of feel like every congressman and senator owns stock in that company. That's why they don't regulate them. That's why they're so powerful. You know. Yeah, I'm putting my tin hat on and talking about that. It is what it is. But
we love tin hats.
but my thing is, the market right now, people are paying a premium for non-GMO and organic products. They're wanting it, and a lot of these big companies are seeing that, hey, you know what, my products aren't pushing out like they should. These other products, like these non-GMO and organics, are doing what they need to do. Hence, this is why this food safety thing is coming out, because they're going to make it almost illegal for, let's say, traditional farmers to use cow manure or chicken litter and things like that as fertilizers in their crops to grow organically, because what they say is the potential for pathogens. So who is going to be out there? Who's going to be out there to create this corn that we need? It's going to be the chemical companies who provide the chemical breakdown that Monsanto, Dow, and all those other folks own. They're going to get a leg up. So those are the things that's coming down the pipe. Our food system is food security, and if the American people don't own it, which is what my nonprofit is about, is being able to take back our food system. And that's why we're trying to create, put veterans back to work and heal vets. I mean, this is the service that we're doing right now, to heal yourself, get back, and let's get control of our food system, because when we lose it, it's gone. I mean, think about this. Everybody loves a seedless watermelon or a seedless orange. Well, guess what?
Fuck that shit.
Guess what happens when you have every single fruit that doesn't have seeds in it? Do you have the ability to go and grow your own fruit? Nope. So guess what? You got to go.
I've heard of farmers getting sued for growing previous seed stock from like a last. And I don't know if that's true or not, but like a last season.
It is,
like
but here's where it's come from. What I understand, and John probably knows more than I do. So if you have a genetically engineered corn in your neighbor's farm, and you have corn on your side, pollination is what pollination is: air, bees, birds, butterflies, whatever. Right. So now you get cross pollination, and so now you got this genetically engineered corn that this company owns. They own the rights to it. Now it has, by nature, it has infiltrated into your corn and mingled with it. And now they're bringing up, they're saying you can't reuse those seeds for the next year because it contains their genetic. There has been farmers who have been sued and lost their farms because their corn their non-GMO corn has pollinated with the GMO corn from across the street. Exactly.
And the Monsanto companies have said, you have because they have the money to do it, and they can tie you up in court. You have compromised their IP, their intellectual property, and so these people are playing God, and that's what they're doing.
Man, I tell you what, I would go to jail for beating the
Yeah,
fucking
but
brakes off.
you
these
say that, but the
How the
problem
hell
is,
do you-
is now you have judges and arbitrators, whatever. And I hate arbitration. I think the worst thing that ever hurt our country is where everybody went this arbitration thing.
Right.
But you have judges that's sitting up there, and I don't know how a person can sit up there and with a open conscience and say, I don't care if you created a genetically engineered, modified seed plant or whatever. When it's put into nature and it goes up into the air, birds eat it and their droppings fall in the next field, bees, pot, whatever, and it crosses with the other guy's crop. To me, it looks like I would have a lawsuit saying that you compromise my living by allowing your genetically engineered product to get onto my property.
Exactly.
But
And
I,
that's
just,
what
I just can't see the judges sitting up there and telling the guy, well,
They're
yeah,
paid off, man.
exactly, because they got money. It's money in their
Yeah.
pocket. That's why. But it's just unbelievable that someone could sit with a clear and good conscience, think that they can tell a farmer that they can't use a corn seed from the previous year, or they have to pay these other companies because of what nature does. That's what nature does.
Well, we have ways around that to protect our crops and the things like that we are that we will do, and those are IP to us, because obviously if you're playing in this game, and you got to understand that there is a war out there for being able to produce clean, wholesome food that everyone wants versus the other things. I mean, it is what it is. I will have to tell you guys that, because I'm in this situation, I have to look at it from both sides, because at the end of the day, I live in Georgia, and Georgia hardly has any winters, right? And so the thing is, I want to go out and I want to create a non-GMO corn. Well, what happens when I don't have any winters that's going to kill the bugs or kill the disease or do those type of things? Well, guess what? They come back and they're ravenous. So do I invest $100,000 into crop that is going to have a 50% chance of making it because I want non-GMOs? Or do I invest my $100,000 into crops knowing that I'm going to get a 40% return on it because I'm planting Monsanto? That is what our farmers are going through because they have to make a living. And let's ask this question too, are the consumers willing to pay the premium that it costs for that non-GMO and that GMO thing? If you got out of 100 people, if you only got 10 people that's willing to pay that price, is that good business for you as a farmer? And so those are the things that I have to look at on both sides to kind of weigh and kind of see where we can find this sweet spot at between, giving the community what we want, which are non-GMOs and organics, but also being able to produce those things at a reasonable cost, because something has to give with regards to doing that. And a lot of people don't think about that as well.
Well, the problem I have with it is I agree with you to an extent, but the problem that I have is just because there is it's like you've enslaved yourself to this organization, this company, by using their product, and there shouldn't be such a monopoly. I mean, this is we're talking about mankind. You're talking about the American citizens, okay? About feeding them. And without the farmers out there, which is a dying occupation, it's without them growing the crops and stuff, we don't eat, and a lot of people. But when you have these big companies and they control everything, and ultimately in the long run, you're going to wind up paying more than what you pay now, because once they own it all, then they can set the price.
And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, and that's the fight. And unfortunately, the people at the table who are making those decisions don't represent us, don't represent me and you. And so one of the things, I hate politics.
All they represent is their pocket. It's what they're more concerned about.
Absolutely.
They don't. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just saying is you get me up on my soapbox. This is in my wheelhouse for me. Is they represent their pockets. They're not worried about their own children, their grandchildren, their great grandchildren. They're not worried about future generations. All they're worried about is how much money can I put in my pocket now? How many homes can I own? What kind of luxury cars can I have? And what's going to make my life easier for me? It's just like recycling and stuff like that. I know a guy that says, he'll throw everything in the trash. He don't care. Like, well, what the fuck? I don't care. I'm not going to be here in 50 more years. And it's like, that's a rotten attitude. What about your kids, your grandkids, your great grand, your lineage that's going to be after you?
Right, absolutely.
And the problem, like I said, is when these people, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what any business of it is once they have the monopoly and the control. Good example, Walmart came into my hometown many years ago, and opened the big super Walmart, and their prices were cheaper than everybody else. The donuts were cheaper. They tasted better. They used real butter. And when the little mom and pop donut shop went out of business, the little mom and pop grocery stores went out of business. All the prices rose up because they were the only show in town.
Right. Well, we have a lot of work to do, and I mean, this is my new mission now. It's agriculture, food security. It's huge. You're right. The farmers are not being replaced. The average age of a farmer now is between 60 and 65. They're not their kids are not taking over their farms. A lot of these farms are being sold to foreign companies, or foreign investments to own. We're growing food here in America and sending it back over to other places. I'm okay for exporting, but I want American businessmen and American farmers to be, reaping the benefits from those type of things. But what we got to do is, where I'm at is to create more of a buzz and to get more people to understand that we can't do anything until we control our own food and that's how we control our destiny, because without that, we will continue to be controlled, Yeah,
I have a lot of respect for you and anybody that has a type of farm. I mean, like I said, I grew up in the South, and like I said, my grandfather, they used to call what they call the old house place where their old house used to be, and he used to have a garden there. But I had an uncle that had a good sized farm, and he farmed up until he died. I have a cousin that farmed up until he died. Luckily, his sons, they picked up the torch where he left off, and has a pretty good sized farm. And it's just, I guess it just wasn't. I'd hate to say, it just wasn't in the cards for me. And not everybody wants to be a farmer. Not everybody wants to raise cattle. Not everybody, whatever. But I have a lot of respect for the people that do, and we need more of it. They need to keep FAA in the schools. They need to open the shop classes, and they need to open up, the trade schools, and not everybody goes off to college. Back when I telling my age here, coming out, that was the thing: is you going to go off to college, you can go to the trade school, you going to learn to be a welder, a carpenter, a mechanic. Right. Or are you going to go off to college and get an education and try to become an architect, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever? It's just, not everybody's suited to do a certain type of job. But I think they've taken a lot of that opportunity away from individuals. I think that's why you have a lot of unemployment. You have a lot of kids that have no purpose. And, they need to put these things back in, and we need to. It starts with generations, and I think that we're probably some years behind the ball here. But I mean, what can we do about it? All we can do is talk about it and try to voice our opinions and do what you can. But I mean, how many schools now have? I hear it all the time. They don't have shop classes anymore. Future Farmers of America doesn't even exist hardly in a lot of schools.
Right. It's sad, man.
It is.
Well, hopefully we could make some inroads. Who knows where this is going to lead us? I mean, I'm honored to be here. Like I said, to serve again, to be in this capacity, to help, my fellow veterans, to help the community. I mean, it's been a great, it's been a great time. I've only been farming for 19 months, but and I was an urban farmer for 10 years prior to that. But, just being out here on the ground, the dirt with a tractor and everything for 19 months. But I'm really excited about the future of what we're doing, and a lot of people are listening, and they're taking note about, what we got going. I got a small soapbox with a pretty big megaphone, so I'm putting it out there, man.
Well, you're right, and I mean there is a grassroots movement that people are looking at that more wholesome foods, grass-fed beef. They don't want all these chemicals in it, and more and more people are realizing that. But the problem is like you said, the big companies, it affects their bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're going to fight it. And I guess if you have to pay a little more for something, you probably need to.
Yeah, well, my mom says too. You pay for it now, you pay for it later. Either way, you're gonna pay for it. So.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I said. If you don't pay for it now, that 79 cent a pound pork chop is going to be $4.99 a pound. It's going to be $9.99 a pound, and it's the next thing they're going to be paying the same thing that you sell the good stuff for.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah, it's just like I said, I got a lot of admiration. I think you're doing a wonderful thing out there. Not just with helping the vets out, but just doing the farm and trying to do your part to keep America together. That's the way I look at it.
Thanks, man. And I really appreciate you guys just giving me an opportunity to voice some concerns, and also show the rest of the nation what we're actually doing, and the challenges that we face in the next couple of days into the weeks. We appreciate it, and we would ask that we'll be in your guys' prayers, and everyone that's in this region as well.
Absolutely, we'll keep everybody in our prayers, especially with these storms and stuff coming through. Yeah. And but yeah, come back anytime you want to, and just get with the admin office there, and you're more welcome to come back to my show anytime you want.
Awesome.
That you like to get out there, and hopefully somebody out there is listening. Maybe it helps somebody. Maybe they want to get into farming now. Maybe they want to get into some aquaponics or hydroponics or anything like that. And then maybe there's a veteran out there that like to come down to Comfort Farms and do some work and learn some things, and so hopefully it's that we've touched somebody out there in some fashion or form. And that's what it's really about.
Man, I really appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Well, I guess maybe we've kind of went past our normal break time. We're going to take a little small break, and I don't know if John's going to come back with us. It's up to him. We'll talk with him off the air here and see what he'd like to do. And but yeah, we'll be right back. And matter of fact. Here, let's do a little bit of Captain Higgins talking about America United. I love this guy, and I like his message. So we'll be right back.
All right.
I'm a regular American. Over the course of my 54 years, I've lived the sort of life that many of you have. I've been failed. I've been fallen. I've struggled and overcame and failed again. I've known hunger. I've enjoyed feast. I'm a street cop, an old soldier, a husband, a father, a Christian. I'm Irish and English and German. My story could be the tale of any American, regardless of color or creed, despite our own individual heritage and culture. All of us, every one of us, through our lives and by our family's history, has woven the thread that defines our flag, has dedicated life and limb and treasure to establish the nation we love. All of us, young, old, wealthy, poor, black, white, liberal, conservative. Every single one of us, first and foremost, is an American. If you're listening to this message, and if you can agree on the basic premise I've just stated, then please lend me your ear for the next couple of minutes. If you can't even set aside your hate long enough to allow truth to speak to your heart, then by all means step aside, child, and let the adults work. America is a nation built by imperfect men, driven by perfect intent. We've overcome every imaginable horror through our history. Some of it, horrors of our own creation. This is the way of a man's life. My own is no exception, nor is yours. And thus, also, is the way of a nation's life. America has never been without fault, nor have we ever claimed such a status. America is, however, the very finest example of free men assembled that the world has ever established. American soldiers have died on every shore to preserve our nation intact. The sun never sets on American dedication to the foundational principle that defines our own Constitution, that all men are created equal. American citizens work tirelessly across the globe to bring relief to the poor, to bring peace to the besieged, to bring stability to the shaken, and to bring freedom to the oppressed. Yet now, our own nation is threatened. America is in grave peril from threat across the seas and also from within. The elected and appointed elitist few who have seized power in Washington have squandered our wealth, mortgaged our children's future, and betrayed our trust. America faces a $20 trillion debt. Even with courageous action now, our so-called leaders in D.C. have mortgaged our future for an entire generation yet unborn. Our once respected and feared status as the world's most powerful nation has been diminished. Our own allies across the globe no longer trust us. Our borders are no longer sovereign. Our cities are on fire. Our police are murdered in the street. Our history is being rewritten. Our veterans return to a nation almost unrecognizable and are forced to battle the oppression of their own government. Our prisons overflow with poor men who have long ago paid their debt to society. Meanwhile, our nation is run by thieves in suits, career politicians that no longer represent we, the people. They represent strictly their own agenda, greed, and ravenous hunger for power. I've often said in my career as a cop that a man's character shouldn't be measured by how he falls. It should be measured by how he stands back up. And in many ways, our nation has fallen. Now I ask you to join me. I ask you to take the hand of your brother and sister of every creed as we magnify our strength by the power of our American spirit. I ask you to set aside our differences and stand together as one nation under God, to stand as one people beneath the glory of one flag, to stand as a nation reborn as we face perils both foreign and domestic. Together, we can stand this thing back up. Our finest hour can yet lay ahead. The threats we face are menacing and real, but an American nation standing as one is a force the world's evils cannot defeat, a force that career politicians fear, a force that every peril dreads, that foreign horrors like ISIS tremble before. You are that force. We are that force. America's not done. Real Americans are not defeated. We are strong. We are one. I'm Captain Clay Higgins, a simple man, a humble American man. From bended knee, I thank you for what you are. My brothers and sisters all, joined by the bond of our spirit.
See, I believe, just like Leonidas said, at that gap at Thermopylae, back at about 429 BC, when the Persian army of Xerxes, 1,000,000 men, stood against them in that gap, and they came forth and they told him, Spartans, lay down your weapons. And he said two simple words in Greek, molon lave. and that translates to come and get them.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
That's right, Randy. We appreciate the endorsement there. This is WTF Nation Radio. This is What the Fuck Wednesdays with your host Jim Beam and Pookie, and we are the voice of U.S. Army What the Fuck Moments. We just had our guest on with us from Comfort Farms, and John is a pretty good guy, man. John Jackson's his name, and he's there in Georgia. Go check him out on his Facebook page. You can see it there advertised. It's Comfort Farms 2016 on Facebook.com. He's got a farm there, and you can go out there as a veteran and work and get your things off your mind, off certain things or whatever, and learn something. And that's what it normally does. But during this hurricane that's coming through, Irma coming through Florida there, he's opened up his farm, said he has room for about 20 RVs. So if you're displaced out of Florida trying to get out of the path, give him a call. Hit him up there on Facebook, and might be a place where you go to stay a day or two until the storm passes through and you get back to your home. And there's not a lot of people that do that. And I think that's a great thing, just to open up his farm, his home there, and say, hey, if you got an RV, we can't provide electricity and water. You have to bring that with you and your own generator or whatnot. But we have a place for you here if you need somewhere to go. So, good guy. Y'all check him out over there and support him. Give him a call and email him, whatever. And see what you can do for them. It's a good guess.
Yeah, check them out, man.
If you're over on Facebook Live, I'm fixing to cut the feed there, but we're still going to run here for about another 45 minutes, 35, whatever it is, over on WTFNationRadio.com in the live chat. You can get there at WTFNationRadio.com or WTFNR.com and hit the live chat and join us there. And we have a video feed there and a chat room. You can talk with us, or you can go over to the Facebook page and hunt us up on. I'm sorry, yes, you can. I'm fixing to get off Facebook Live, but you can go over to YouTube, hunt us up on YouTube, and watch the show there as it's playing out, or look at previous shows. Or if you got to get away from your computer and get out, you've got your smartphone there. You can listen to us on the Puffin app, the Dolphin app, the TuneIn app. And if you have Android instead of those iPhones, you can go over to Google Play and get the WTF Nation radio app, which is available at Google Play for the Android. I'd also like to shout out to War Horses for Veterans. They're another good organization that we're affiliated with, or they're affiliated with us, or however you want to look at it. And they offer another place for veterans to go visit, ride horses, and get out and get out and get in touch with nature a little bit. It's a pretty good place. Jay Reddy is out there, so nothing else, you can go out there and meet him. What do you think, Pookie?
What's that?
You got that deer in the headlight look. All right, like I said, if you're over there, Facebook Live, come over and join us at WTFNationRadio.com and join the live chat. And appreciate you guys tuning in, and see you next week. Yeah, they say, Pookie? Pookie, hello. I think
I'm here. I'm sorry. This is stupid mute button, man. Come on, man. I don't know. Just do me a favor. Just don't beat your wife, and just do no more shit. Be a normal human being for the rest of the week.
I ain't never beat my wife. What are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about the rest of the nation. You got army people out there that want to do crazy shit sometimes. So.
Okay. I don't know, man. You're killing me. There we go. I'm killing the feed over to Facebook. I'll make sure I had it dead and gone. Oh,
If it's dead, I'm sorry, man. My mic was messing up a little bit there at the end of it.
oh, you're fine. You're fine, man. We're still here on Mixer and running video and all that good stuff. So, in fact, we're gonna take a little break and keep it in theme with the weather. Yeah, we'll just. I'm about out of songs that I picked, and I get some country songs right together. So we'll go with a country song here, and we'll be right back.
WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Continuous country.
I'm just kidding. It's not continuous country. Although it could be. Well, a lot of you out there just don't like the country music. But, I mean, you heard me intro earlier. Like I said, hip, hop, R&B. I mean, I play a little bit of everything.
I like it all.
Yep, that's right. It's all the good stuff. Still kind of aggravated, man. I mean, this Windows, man, it's kind of intrusive because it didn't even ask me if I wanted to update. It just did it. Now everything's when I started the show, it took me several minutes to reconfigure everything because it changed what my configuration was and for microphones and everything. And then now I can't even log into the live chat. So I'll get that fixed though. It must have changed my password.
That Windows thing nowadays, like I don't understand it. Like forced update crap. I really don't understand it.
World domination. They're doing the same thing in the electronics world as we were just talking about. The food industry, where they're trying to take over, all the farms and stuff. They're trying to force you into their product. They used to have. Because they used, you got Linux out there and other operating systems and stuff like that. But they used to have a program called Windows. It was a mix between Linux and Windows. It was on a Linux format, but you could click on icons and stuff much like Windows. And it was owned by a company overseas, I think maybe Germany. And of course, Microsoft went after them and they initially sued them, but they was where they was going to lose the lawsuit. So they wound up buying the software, the operating system off of the creator for a few $1 million, and then they just shut it down.
Because I know some of them Linux distros are like really liberal with what you can do with them.
Right.
But I mean, it takes like a kind of like a common knowledge with computing with it.
Yeah, we got a caller. WTF Nation Radio. You're live on the air. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, man, this is Twyla. How are you?
You don't have to tell me who this is. I know who it is just when I heard the voice. Hey, what's up?
How are you guys? It's been a long time, man.
So you don't go by the other name no more?
Oh, sometimes I do.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying we're live on the air, and then you said, "This is Twyla." And I'm like, okay.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Happy Wednesday.
Happy birthday to you, too.
It's a Wednesday.
I thought Wednesday and Thursday was your birthday.
It is. Oh, my God. You remember. You remember. That's awesome.
Absolutely. How could I forget Fur Bikini?
I know. I'm like old school fucking hated. But I love you guys, man, and I want to say hi and good times.
we love you
back.
Wait,
this is Fur?
we love you back. I love you back. I want to love you back. And appreciate you listening.
Yeah, I know. It's fun. It's a good website and good vibe, and I'm enjoying all you guys.
I'm glad you're still hanging around listening. Yeah, Pookie. I don't know if you remember her, but she's a long-time listener and a frequent caller.
Yeah, I remember.
You know, you always get we always get those people say,
I heard fur bikini. I was like, oh, hello, how you doing?
You know, you get those guys calling in and say, you know, a long time listener, first time caller, or first time listener, first time caller. And she's a long time listener, all time caller.
All time caller, especially with you, Jim. You're my favorite.
Well, I'm glad that hadn't changed. I'm still sitting, you know, on my front porch drinking beer.
Hell yeah. I'm in my garage drinking beer.
And whiskey, you know, I drink that whiskey.
I know. Are you guys good out there? It's been so many hurricanes and
I know,
all
man,
this stuff going on.
Yeah, we're doing pretty fair. Most of us are in good shape here at the station, and we hope all our listeners are out there in good shape. And if they're in the path of the storm, they've gotten out of the way, or they're on their way to getting out of the way, and we hope the best for them, and keeping our thoughts and prayers and everything. And you know, the worst thing about this, even though you know it's coming, you can leave and get away from it, but you don't know what's going to be there when you come back. And you know, you can replace material things, but it's still a heartache, hardship, and a burden. And so I just hope that, you know, everybody gets out of the storm's path, and the damage is minimal, and people don't lose their homes and their personal property and stuff. Because, you know, like I said, you can replace that stuff, but it's still, you know, when you get out of the way and you want to come back to it, you don't want it to be gone. And I've been through that. I've lost some houses, and so I know what it's like.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had one burned down. So.
No way.
I'm gonna tell you this though. I mean this I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I'd rather have my house burned plumb to the ground than be flood damaged.
Really?
Yeah, everything's gone. You know what I mean? You're not having to go through and pick through stuff and mold, mildew, water, sewer water. I mean, yeah, you got your memories and photos that you can save, but they're now water stained and messed up. But I don't know. For me, it was almost better with the total loss. But that's just me. You know what I mean? It's just you know, everybody's got their own thing. But that's just the way. But anyway, hopefully everybody's safe and get rid of the gloom and doom here and get out of the path of the storm.
Yeah. Damn.
So,
yeah, that's scary. You never know.
So you're pretty good out there on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, but we don't have like warning systems. If I had a warning system that was like, dude, a 7.0 earthquake was coming, you know, it's different. It's different. You always have to have emergency kit prepared because you never know if an earthquake will happen.
I got one of them. It's called a bug out bag.
I got the same thing. Bug out bag. 72-hour bug out bag. It's 3 days worth of supplies. I can just grab up and just roll the hell out of my house. I don't care.
People think I'm crazy.
Oh, that's good.
You know, you know, when you go to the laundromat and you're collecting the fucking lint out of the dryers and people looking at you like you're some kind of pervert or something. Like, it's okay. But no, that's good. You
build fire stock. That's what
right.
you're doing. You're building fire logs, man.
Pookie, here's what I do. Have you seen the little sandwich bags that they have for the kids that you can put little treats in? They're probably about 1.5 inches tall. They're little.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, you take that and you stuff it full of as much as dryer lint as you can and zip it up. And you make a bunch of those, and then you stick them inside of like the 1 quart bags or even sandwich bags if you don't go that small. But I do the like those medium sized Ziploc bags, and then I stuff as much of those as I can in there, zip it up, and then I get as many of those into a gallon size Ziploc bag. I know that might be overkill, but I'm trying to make sure it stays dry.
Yeah. You want fire when you fire too.
Yeah, so you know, I reach in my gallon bag and I pull out my little quart or pint. I think it's a pint bag, and it's out there's the little sandwich thing. So I don't have to worry about getting everything wet just to get a little lint. You know, and then of course you got to have your matches and your you have your flint or your striker and
I'm a smoker, so I always have my lighter on.
Yeah, 9-volt battery and some
Steel wool.
Brillo pad there, steel wool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You'd be surprised what you can do. If
Damn.
nothing else, you can rub your sticks together.
That's good. It's good. It's like a bag ready to go. That's what I need to work on.
I mean, every American should have like a national defense kind of like preparedness bag just to roll the hell out, man. I think this should be like a law, kind of a weird way, but I don't like laws, so whatever.
And then get some ammunition there. What's your favorite? I mean, I have more 9mm than anything, and although I have a 40 and a 9 and a 380, I got several different calibers. But I think my thinking is the 9mm is cheaper, and it's like I think like the most popular caliber really. So if something was happening, you had to procure
It's
another
good for trade.
Yeah, if you had to procure another sidearm, I think you might be easier to find a 9mm replacement. Uh-oh.
Hello.
I was looking at
Hi.
I was looking at Pokemon Alley out there. Allie. However you say her name. She called in last week. She says if you soak it in Vaseline, it works amazing. I bet Vaseline does work amazing. Why don't you call us and tell us how amazing Vaseline
Vaseline.
Call and tell us
Vaseline's my
Oh.
tell us how amazing Vaseline works for you.
Yeah. It lets you get into other holes you weren't expecting to get into.
She's talking about soaking your lint in it, man. I don't think it works the same as KY jelly. She says it waterproofs it and it adds make an accelerant too. Never thought about that.
Man, I miss you guys so much.
Hey, we missed you too.
Oh my gosh. I miss you guys. Good vibe, good friends, good Wednesday. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
I miss you guys.
I tell you what, we appreciate you calling in, appreciate you listening and hanging around and being a loyal listener here to WTF Nation Radio. And
yes.
I'm gonna go to a music break right now, and because I just can't stand the weather. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Live from the basement of the Pentagon, this is WTF Nation Radio.
That's right. This is WTF Nation Radio, and this is your host for tonight for What the Fuck Wednesdays here on What the Fuck Nation Radio. We are the voice of U.S. Army What the Fuck moments. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you're entertained, educated, whatever. Because there was a lot of everything going on. I thought there's some laughter, some knowledge being shared, and like I said, if you like to get out and learn how to farm or get away for a while, you can go down there and talk with the people at Comfort Farms, and it sound like they got a good little program going, and there's a lot of things out there for horses for veterans. So there's a lot of programs, a lot of people we're affiliated with to call in and talk on the shows that are there for you. Ain't that right, Spanky?
Oh, absolutely, darling.
Yeah,
I mean, they do a lot of great things.
I put you on the
I'm
spot.
just glad they were able to come on. I'm always on the spot.
And like I said, if you're traveling, trying to get out of the path of the hurricane, they have opened up their farm for if you have an RV or maybe even a camper. I'm sure, I can't answer for them, but I'm pretty sure that'd be all right. They said you got a place to come and put it. They don't have electricity or water for you if you had to bring your own and generator or whatever, but at least there's a place for you to go. And from my understanding, it don't cost you nothing. So, I mean, you have to worry about trying to go to AKO campground or somewhere and have to pay fees or whatever that, so it's a place for you to go to get out of the path, hopefully. And I think it's a nice offer that they put out there. To hope people take advantage of it to get out of this storm. It's the hurricane of the century, I suppose.
Like I said, you just go to their Facebook page and they have all their rules and, what they need from you. And, hey, somebody's opening up their, farm for you to come sit there.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time to me. in the middle of chaos. But anyway, like I said, yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll probably play a couple more songs here. We're fixing to head out. So we're at the end of the show, and appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said, I hope you were entertained. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and come back tomorrow night. We got ISIS show is on tomorrow night. That's ICE, not ISIS. ICE, which is Sergeant's time. So every Thursday night. Matter of fact, we have a show every night of the week, 20 hours. So come join us. You guys got anything, Pookie?
Like I say, like at the end of every one of my shows, is like, don't beat your wife and don't drink and drive. That's all I got to say to y'all.
And I always just say sweet dreams and stuff.
And shit. I mean stuff. Sounds like a Pookie over giving a safety brief. Don't get drunk, beat your wife, and then don't drive after you do it. If you
Can't help it, man.
If you do, you'll be in front of the first sergeant in the morning.
Can't help it.
Standing on the carpet. I appreciate everybody, and as I like to say, I love everybody. And we'll, like I said, play a song or two here, and then get out of your way, and we'll call it a night. Cause that bed's calling my name. We said Jill. Jim, come to bed. But anyway,
night.
Is in the house. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
That's right. You are listening to WTF Nation Radio. This is What the Fuck Wednesday here on WTF Nation Radio, the voice of U.S. Army, What the Fuck Moments. I'm going to get out of here, but I can't get out of here just yet because, one of my co-hosts on with me tonight, Spanky, I love her dearly. And I just got to play her theme song. So this is for you, Spanky, with all our love.
Live from the basement of the Pentagon, this is WTF Nation Radio.
That's right, WTF Nation Radio. We're signing off for tonight. You guys have a good night. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you were entertained. I hope we entertained you as much as you guys entertained me. And see you again next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Goodbye.
Man, he's gonna say goodbye to the whole goddamn country now.
Of everything that stirs the air.
Good night! Okay, I'm good.
No safety or surprise the air.
Okay, lady, I love you. Bye-bye.
I'll never look into your eyes again.
Good night. God bless you. And don't forget to wear a rubber.
Hang that shit up.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.